Hey everybody, this is Eric McLuhan, Director of Instruction at the Applecross Golf Academy, here with tip number 2 in your 12 tips for the holiday season. A couple of you asked me to review the grip, and I thought, well, it'd be easy to do, so here's mine. I'm going to let my swing run here, and then we'll get a little close up into the grip, into what's important. When I think of a good grip, from my vision, myself looking at my hands, I like to have no vision of my left thumb. I pretend it's a hot dog and it goes right in the bun of your right hand. And I think it's very important to create a long crease right here. Some people call that a V, which I can understand why they would. You've got this here and this here. And what you'll find is that tour players tend to send that crease toward the upper right-hand side of their body, like their right ear to right shoulder, somewhere in this range. The more it's pointing to the right shoulder, the stronger the grip is. So the more you point it over here, the more your tendency will be to hook the ball. So if your V was pointed over here, you'd have more of a tendency to slice the ball. So in my left hand, I try to have 2 knuckles showing. Somewhere between 2 to 3 is ideal. And if you see more than 3 in this hand, you'll tend to hook the ball. If you see less than 2, if you see 1 or 0 knuckles, you'll tend to slice the ball. So you want to have a neutral grip, which would be 2 knuckles, to slightly strong, which would be 3. So 2 to 3 knuckles showing in that left hand. Now, this is a typical glove of many of our players in the beginning. You see the wear mark. Take a look at your gloves, and you'll see that wear mark being in the same place. Now here I've circled it. Now what that means is the club has been put way too much in the palm of the left hand. Now I'm going to let this run. So this is my grip. And there's the left hand. So my left thumb is at 1 o'clock. With the other hand on there, my right thumb is at 11. So my right thumb is at 11. My left thumb is at 1. Pretty easy. This is the part that really gets a lot of people. You want the club to be underneath the heel pad right here. But what most people do, let this run, they let it slip. And that's what it looks like. And that's how you get this mark right here. When you let the club ride up into the palm too much, you lose so much wrist action, and you end up breaking your arm. You're like on the way back. My left arm would break down. You end up using so many other parts to try to compensate for this lack of wrist action. So you really want to get the club back a little more toward the fingers underneath that pad. So you want the heel pad right here to be sitting on top of the club. Very, very important. You do not want your glove to look like this. All you've got to do is go check your bag, and you'll see what I mean. Good players don't ever have that hole that's developed. Right here. We see it all the time. And it's such a slice maker, to be honest with you. So if you can fix just that one thing, if you get the pad on top, it'll be easier to get your hand over so that you can see the knuckles. You want to see at least 2, maybe even 3. Okay? So here would be an ideal grip. And then here's a picture of Ernie Els. You'll see, very similarly, you'll see his right thumb at 11 o'clock. Let me zoom in on it. See that real long line right here, that long crease? Now his is pointed a little more to the chin, and you'll find that a lot of tour players have a very neutral grip because they have quick hands and they do not need to have the V over at the right shoulder. Putting the V at the right shoulder is basically how not to slice a ball by Golf Digest. So there is not one grip for everybody, but there's some general guidelines that you should live by. That's what good players do. So I hope this helps. This is tip number 2 of your 12 tips for the holidays. And don't hesitate to give me a buzz and give me something you'd like me to cover. I'd be happy to do it. All right? So have a good, happy holiday season, and I will see you soon.